This episode of Blue Please is brought to you by the US Horde Guild, The Nothing. Join us for cataclysm as we do what hardcore guilds do in half the time. Find us at www.whatistthenothing.org and enjoy our live streams and videos. Join in the awesomeness.
And so, it begins. Dark were the skies and chill was the wind as the land was covered in a veil of malice. Across the hill did ride a dread army of the night, cloaked in mist and fog, prepared to rain down death and destruction upon the land. And the people did crowd for a savior, a noble soul to save them from their impending demise. Just as it seemed all was lost, in strode a mighty hero, clad in shimmering metal from head to toe. Wielding a terrible broadsword, he did cleave his foes in two, smashing their ranks asunder with righteous fury. And when the day was done and the enemy strewed across the fields in pieces, the people did turn to the warrior and say, "We shall name this day in your honor. Speak unto us your wisdom." The warrior said one word that day: epic.
One man, one murloc, one giant angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now. Yes, indeed! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Blue Please here on CynicalBrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. The date today is the 23rd of 11, 2010. That means we're quite close to the time of the apocalypse. Yes, also known as 2012 Beck Palin. Oh, what a terrifying idea. Oh... It's good to be back, it's good to be back! I was off air for a few days. Why? Well, if any of you were paying attention, it was actually because I was landing it up. We had the first ever inaugural Cynical LAN, ladies and gentlemen, and it was awesome. So thank you to everyone who showed up to that. We even had, well, Husky wasn't there, but he was there in spirit. We had the LAN Centre's Husky dog that was lying around on the floor all day and trying to get out every now and again. Very clever dog. Sort of whoring it up a little bit, I must say, looking for attention. Very distracting when you're trying to play Black Ops. You've got this husky dog under your feet, but awesome nonetheless. So there you go. But yeah, it was great. So thanks to everyone that showed up to that. It was fantastic to meet all of you, and looking forward to seeing all of you again at some point in the not-too-distant future. That's going to be a regular thing, considering how successful it was, and next time we'll find a better Chinese buffet to eat at, because... I don't know, the gecko just isn't very good, is it? Ugh, it's just... it's not good. I've been to an awful lot, but I mean, that curry sauce is really good, and the fried rice is great, but the rest of it is... fried chicken wings at a Chinese buffet? I mean, really? Yeah. Was not impressed all that much, I must say. Also, I have to give a very solemn announcement. Something that was cared for a great deal of time has now sadly passed away. It served its country and its purpose for many years. And its name is Cats Hate Mango's laptop. After he got drunk, we played League of Legends. He fed hard, then headbutted his screen. And so we lay it to rest. Ashes to ashes, silicon to silicon. Rage quit to rage quit. What have I got coming up for you in the show today? Well, I can think of a few things. Stuff. Things. Things and stuff. It's an idea, isn't it? Sounds like a reasonable plan. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this Best Buy dev chat. If I hadn't read it with my own eyes, I would have assumed that someone was trolling me. It's like, you know they're hosting the dev chat with Best Buy, right? I'm like, what? Seriously? Best Buy? What do they got to do with anything? Oh, well, they're our corporate partners. Oh, okay. So, yeah, remind me the next time that I do something to... Let's see, what's the current ad up on my site? Yeah. So, this show is brought to you by 3 Mobile and the Nokia N8. Which has nothing to do with this show at all, but hey, there you go. Host the dev chat, host a cynical chat that's sponsored by freaking Weetabix or something. It sounds sensible. There's no reason. It's not like setting up a dev chat actually costs anything. It's not like they'll be putting out any outlay to bring you something that otherwise wouldn't be there. It's just blatant, completely and totally blatant sponsorship. Corporate sponsorship. It's like Best Buy gave a bunch of money to Blizzard, and Blizzard said, this one brought to you by... You know, I do that at the start of my show. But then again, bear in mind, I'm a one-man band right here. I've got a website to run. I've got bills to pay. I'm not a multinational corporation. I mean, really. At least when I get sponsored by something, it's generally WoW-related. Or at least gaming-related. Best Buy? When was the last time you heard of anyone genuinely going to Best Buy to buy gaming stuff? When you have so many much better options available. I don't even know. We'll be talking about that a little bit later because this was a pretty lame chat and I'm looking forward to taking it apart. Also, retrospective on the beta. It ended yesterday, folks, with no fanfare, no event. How very, very disappointing. The best beta they've ever done and the worst ending to the best beta they've ever done. Will it be the worst expansion? Will it be the best expansion? I can tell you for a fact it's much better than Wrath. I'll do my post-mortem on it and, of course, remind you of the plans that's going to be going forward. Oh yeah, hell, I won't even talk about that now. I'll just tell you right now. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to starting this. Probably at the start of next week, I'm going to be starting Azeroth Daily, which is the daily news show. Basically, it's going to be a one-stop shop for all WoW news. Going to be in association with a whole bunch of different websites. It's going to be great stuff. Looking forward to it. We're going to have all of the news. We're going to have Blue Post Roundup. We're going to have, of course, my personal opinion on a bunch of stuff. Going to be reviewing mods. We're going to be looking at best quest of the day, hints and tips. There'll be a mailbag at the end of each episode. It's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes long. It's going to be out every day of the week except for Sundays. And it is hopefully going to be very, very enjoyable indeed. Also, Let's Play World of Warcraft. Oh, I didn't want to do it, but you know what? Considering... Here's the logic behind doing this, by the way. Here is this logic. So, a lot of people like to say, oh, well, Total Biscuits channel's going to die once Cataclysm comes out and once the beta's over. Well, you know what? The beta's over, and I don't see my subs dropping, for one thing. And secondly, it comes down to the fact that people actually like watching other people play WoW. It's as simple as that. It's the same reason the Cataclysm pre-quests, which everyone can do, got about 150,000 views each. You know, everyone can do it, and people still watch it. I make a video about some ridiculous freaking point-and-click game. It gets 350,000 views. It's safe to say, at this point, that people just want to watch good gaming content. And they'll get it. Simple as that. That is exactly what they're going to get. So, I'll do a full playthrough. Level character. I'm going to bring High YouTube back. High YouTube's going to start off, I think, as probably a troll, but I'll race change to a goblin once Cataclysm becomes available, and actually they're not giving you the ability to change to that immediately, apparently. You've got to wait a little while, but yeah. So I'll do that, and I'll probably bring With Kittens back as well. The temptation to bring With Kittens back as a troll druid, I might add, is very, very, very high indeed. We will see how that one turns up. Like I say, it should be fun. And, of course, there's a bunch of other stuff coming out. I'm actually releasing a poker video later, I kid you not. Did a bit of a playthrough of Poker Night at the Inventory. That's really entertaining, at least the game is. I'm not sure if my video is, I'm sure we'll find out. Part 1 of that will go up after the show. It's all in 1080p. A damn thing won't let me capture in 720, so it's like, hey, full HD poker? Why? Yeah, it should be good. So yeah, that's going up. It was fun to do. There's going to be a lot of content over the next few weeks, and by the looks of it, I should be casting DreamHack live streaming Thursday through to Saturday, if I can get my computer working properly. I've got a nice new graphics card around tomorrow, a GTX 580, which I'm told is a little bit meaty, and then the rest of my computer, the i7 980X, coming over the course of a week or so. So yeah, the 580 should be good. I'm looking forward to getting that one through its paces. My 5770s are just not cutting it anymore, and to be fair, never really did. Need some more meat on the power of the rig, ladies and gentlemen. Cynical Rig Mac 2 is going to be badass, that I can tell you. I'll get it its own hat. Oh, yes. A noble amassment of hats. I suppose, after all of that nonsense, I should probably tell you, if you're not already in it, the video chat, for some reason on the website, has been pointing to the wrong place. I don't know why. That's a bug that needs to be fixed. Whatever the case, tinychat.com/cynicalbrit is where you need to be. tinychat.com/cynicalbrit for the video chat, and our IRC is available. There's a client at the top of the page, or you can just point your favourite IRC client to irc.quakenet.org, # cynicalbrit. That's the way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, it's time for this.
That sounds like it's mail time. Here's the mail.
It never fails.
It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes,
I want to wail.
Yes, indeed, folks. It is the mail time. That would be the time where we read the mail. Okay. This one comes in from Jonathan Carroll, also known as Millennia, on Steam Wheedle Cartel EU GM and raid leader of the what the hell is that? The Temperature? Yes, that's not spelled right as far as I'm aware. Maybe I'm just misreading it. Whatever the case. Hello, Total Biscuit. After testing some dungeons in the beta, I was thinking about how overgearing may affect them, and we could be in a similar position to Wrath when it comes to dungeons. I'm happy they got rid of the badge system, replaced it with 2 justice points, well, 2-point systems, but I have 2 questions in this particular email. 1. Will the gear from the Justice Point vendors at 85 always be item level 3, 4, 6, so people have to actually go through the different tiers to get endgame gear? I really hope so. Sorry to disappoint you, but no. I know, I hate it too. I have railed against it so much, I continue to rail against it. It is horrible, but here's the problem. They insist on giving the past tier of raid gear to people that don't necessarily deserve it. And obviously, at the start of the expansion, that's not really a problem, because 3, 4, 6 isn't even raid-level gear, but when the next tier comes out, the chances are the Justice Point stuff will go up to 3, 5, 9. I don't know how often they will release gear. I honestly don't. I'm hoping they'll at least give people a few tiers before they bump it up, but knowing them, it'll be once per tier. So if they go up to tier 12, then the gear available from that's going to be like tier 11, tier 13, tier 12, etc., etc. I know, it's a terrible way to do it. It's a horrible way to do it, but that is set in their mind as the right way to do things, and it's not. It's just not the right way to do things at all. Oh, man. How can you not realize that that's not the right way to do it? You end up outmoding content. In this case, it's not even just one dungeon you're outmoding. You're outmoding several. What I will say, at least, is the fact that the heroic gear as well, yeah, this is important, as well as the gear from the big optional end heroic uber bosses, like Lady Sinestra, is going to be significantly more powerful than the normal gear. Which means that you can justify going back to old dungeons to do heroics, and you will still get gear that is useful to you. Which means that, say, if you're taking a while, and then the next tier comes out, you won't have it outmoded. You say, like, the way Old War is, yep? There was no point in going back to do most Old War heroics, because all of the TOC stuff was just better. Flat out better in every way. So, of course, Old War died off, and it's annoying, really, because it's actually the exact opposite of what Blizzard claims they want, yeah? What they claim is that, well, you know, in TBC, only about 5% of people saw Sunwell, blah, 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 which is why we nerfed it at the end, etc., etc. Only 5% saw Naxxramas 1.0, and we want everyone to see it. It's the opposite problem now. If people come in, either with an alt, or they level up slow, or they just come back to the game, resub in the middle of a tier, they are going to be on the current tier's worth of content, and they will ignore the previous tier. Why? Because they don't have to do the previous tier. All they need to do is heroics to get the badges, to get the gear that was from the previous tier. So you actually have the opposite problem of people coming in the middle of the expansion and not even bothering to check out Old War, Naxxramas. Not that you want to check out Nax anyway, but you get the idea. Yeah? It is the opposite problem. You get too few people, once the expansion really gets rolling, viewing the starting raids as opposed to the ending raids. So you can't have that system. It's bad. It is a bad bad system, and it needs to be fixed. Secondly, do you think Blizzard has learned from gear design in Wrath to not buff the stats of the newest tier of raids to ridiculous levels? So, like I said, probably. What I will say is that my experience of Heroics is that a lot of the mechanics can't really be out-geared per se. Like I said, that my latest video, the Heroic Throne of Tides, everyone except for me was in raid gear. Yep. With the exception of me, who was in heroic gear. I didn't want to use my raid pre-made because I thought I might over-gear it, and actually, the gear didn't help that much. With a full set, full enchants, full gems, epics and everything, it was still challenging, and that's good. There are some mechanics that, yes, can be out-geared, no doubt about that. But there are others that seem to work very, very well. They've done a much better job. Bear in mind that Heroics eventually will be out-geared. However, bear this in mind, and this is the best thing. If you raid a lot, then you will reach your weekly cap of points. If you reach your cap, there is no reason for you to go into Heroic 5-mans at all. None. Zero. So, whereas you have to do daily Heroics with the Wrath system, in the Cataclysm system, you don't. If you raid enough, you will reach the badge cap, and that's it. Yeah, I say badges, it's points, it's the same freaking thing, it's just a currency. You will reach that cap, and that is it, folks. You don't have to farm any more that week. You don't have to go and hit the Heroics, the dungeons, you don't have to do it. There's no reason, there's no point in doing it, so yeah. If you are a dedicated raider, you will never have to set foot in those 5-mans ever again once you start getting onto your schedule. My name's Total Biscuit, you are listening to Blue Please here on CynicalBrit.com. When I come back after the break, we'll be getting on to that dev chat. Oh, yes. Indeed. I know what I want to play. This track is going out to my bro Husky and his friend Kurt Schneider. And the proceeds from this track, and bear in mind this is available on iTunes and you should go and buy it, are all going to charity. I've had this featured on my channel. I'm going to play it for you right now. Kurt Schneider featuring Husky StarCraft Justin Bieber parody of all things. It's Banelings, and I'll be right back after this. Enjoy.